Prepare to bask in unprecedented glory, because today I'm going to be reviewing my prolonged fasting experience. Was it a gratifying, worthwhile, meritorious experience, or was it abysmal? Well, I would deem the experience to be worthwhile, to say the least. It warrants a pursuit. Unfortunately, it is arduous to brook in the short haul, but in the long haul your body becomes more acclimated with fasting, and it's more tolerable, to say the least. So, fasting has a myriad of health benefits. It decreases your ghrelin levels, it decreases your insulin levels, it increases your growth hormone levels, and of course, it allows you to terminate more cancer cells, as well as decimate more senescent cells. Furthermore, it allows you to restore, rejuvenate, and repair and mend your DNA. So, if you want to prolong your life, if you want to decrease your mortality rate, then it's incumbent, it's pivotal, it's of utmost importance that you fast. So, in a nutshell, I fast 4 days a week for at least 96 hours in a row. I strive to fast for a duration of anywhere from 96 to 108 hours. Fasting past a 100-hour threshold is difficult because it induces dehydration. Now, of course, you can drink all the distilled water you want, but you still feel dehydrated. Why? Distilled water is devoid of electrolytes. Furthermore, water is not as hydrating as fruits and vegetables. When you consume fruits and vegetables, you're intaking water in its perfect form, so they're roughly 9 to 10 times more hydrating relative to distilled water. So, during my fasting period, I just consume distilled water, and during my refeeding period, I just eat fruits and vegetables. I desist from eating anything else. So, how is this lifestyle of abstinence? Well, I love it. Why? It allows me to have more time to earmark towards work. It allows me to have more time to allocate towards REM sleep. I love sleeping, and I love having more spare time. It essentially liberates more time in your life, and it allows you to feel reinvigorated, and allows you to feel animated, and allows you to feel imbued with unprecedented levels of energy. So, I feel like I'm ready, I'm raring to go with pretty much everything, and I feel more mindful and cognizant, to say the least. I feel as though my senses are augmented and less impaired, to say the least. My body doesn't have the strain of having to digest anything amid a fast, and I'm able to discharge more rubbish from my body amid a fast, because it could just focus on excreting any unnecessary toxins or compounds or deleterious products from the body. So, in other words, you're able to excrete more rubbish out from your body amid a fast than you otherwise would be able to, because your body doesn't have to focus on digesting any food. And you definitely feel healthier because your body can focus on DNA rejuvenation, and you can focus on re-lengthening your telomeres, and it can focus on decreasing insulin levels, decreasing ghrelin levels, so that you feel fuller, less ravenous, less lethargic, and more energetic, to say the least. So, when I had my blood test results, I was not surprised. Everything was impeccable, with the exception of my potassium levels. The only reason that my potassium levels were slightly lower than average is because I consume roughly 4,000 to 10,000 milligrams of sea salt on my refeeding days. Now, if you understand the interplay between potassium and sea salt, you'll know that potassium expunges excess sea salt from the kidneys. So my potassium levels are a bit low because I eat inordinate amounts of sea salt. If I cut back on sea salt, then my potassium levels will likely be much higher than average. Now, on my refeeding days, I consume anywhere from 15 to 30 avocados. That's how I sustain myself. That's how I stay afloat. And that's what I eat for sustenance. Furthermore, when I fast, I don't feel as frazzled nor as torpid as someone else may, because I keep my body highly nutrified. I only eat fruits and vegetables, and I consume roughly 30 to 50 whole fruits on my refeeding days, and I consume roughly 15 to 25 servings of vegetables each day on my refeeding days, and I confine my eating to a 72-hour time window, and I confine my fasting to at least a 96-hour time window. So I'm eating 3 days a week and fasting for 4 days in a row. So to give you an example, to give you a breakdown, I'll eat on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then I'll fast from Wednesday till Saturday. So that's a regimen that I've been following, or I should say regiment. No, I think it's regimen. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's a dietary regimen that I've been following, and I've been doing it for months now. I've been fasting for years, and I've only had positive, beneficial, salubrious, salutary results. I haven't succumbed to any adverse effect pertaining to fasting, so I'm hoping that this can prolong my life, decrease my mortality rate, and render me more energetic, useful, and mindful in the long haul. So the benefits are unequivocally profound, and it may behoove you to fast, especially if you want to detoxify your body, rejuvenate your DNA, terminate more cancer cells, and ravage more senescent cells within your body that should be destroying themselves but don't. So if you want to elicit ketosis, if you want to prolong your life, if you want to feel more energetic and useful, if you want to restore your vitality and recover your strengths and be more poised for anything, then it may behoove you to fast. Just be aware that it may raise your cortisol levels in the short haul, because going without food can be stressful in the short haul, but you get well acclimated with it in the long haul, and as your ghrelin levels decrease, you become more content with abstinence. So it's not for everyone, but if you're looking to increase your longevity rate and look no further than fasting, and look no further than only eating fruits and vegetables, if your diet is devoid of vitamin B12, you may need to take a vegan variant of a vitamin B12 supplement, and you also may need to take a vegan variant of a vitamin D3 supplement if you're lacking vitamin D3. So, I hope that you found this review to be insightful and enthralling. I recommend and advocate fasting because it's shown to be highly beneficial in all species. So, make sure that your body's highly nutrified before you fast, and make sure you regulate what you're doing before you engage in a fast. And once you engage in a fast, make sure you get your vitals tested via blood tests so that you can know whether or not it's benefiting you or adversely affecting you. If it's adversely impacting you, then desist from fasting. But I can't recommend that anyone else emulates what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is unprecedented and experimental. I don't know what the effects will be in the long term. They should be beneficial, but the future is an enigma, and the outcome may not be what I expect. But I'm presuming that I'm right, because even periodic fasting and RAS more than doubles their lifespan. So it's shown to be beneficial in every single species that has been tested on, so I don't see why that wouldn't translate to being beneficial in human beings. But yet again, I don't know anyone else who's a fruitarian that fasts for 4 days a week and only eats for 3 days a week. But so far, there hasn't been an issue per se, so I'll hope for the best and continue to be optimistic. I hope that you found this video to be intriguing. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.